Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Chris Wong, Head of Developer Relations here at Mapbox. Today's session is Building with the Nav SDK on iOS. Before we get started, we have a few logistical notes. All of our build sessions will be recorded and are available to view after the event in the Zoom lobby, and will be on YouTube after about a week or so. We will be inviting live questions for our guests. To participate, please submit questions through the Zoom Q&A feature. If you put them in the chat, we might miss them, so try and use the Q&A feature so we can have a little more structure. Captions are available in multiple languages, so to enable that, use the Captions button at the bottom of your screen. And you can discover this and all of our build sessions available through the week in our Zoom event lobby, or you can also go to mapbox.com/build. That's it for logistical notes. I would like to welcome Artem Stepuk, an iOS engineer on our Navigation SDK team, who's going to talk to us about building with the Navigation SDK for iOS. Take it away, Artem.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Yeah. Hi, folks. Thank you for joining. And yeah, as actually our conference statement is, let's build the navigation little simple courier delivery app today. Yeah, we're gonna use real app, real development during the session. Just to speed up that, I will use some snippets. We're gonna use the Swift UI based custom UI, the Mapbox driven navigation, and the mocked orders pop-up system. Yeah, on the right, actually, you can see the GIF of something that we want to get in the end. What we're not going to discuss is something like Swift UI specifics or architectural questions. Yeah, that's basically out of scope at the moment. All right, let's quickly take a look on our application state. Our application state is represented with the 4 main domains. The first one, waiting for the delivery request. The second one, we got the delivery request and we're loading the route. That should be something really small. I mean, this state is really just the matter of API call, but still we decided to leave it here. All right, the next one, we have everything to navigate. So we're waiting for the driver to actually accept the route and start navigation. And the final part is the navigation, where we are actually in the active navigation state. When the navigation is completed, we're going to the waiting for a delivery request for a next request. Yeah, if we do talk about the app and UI architecture, it's going to be something like that. The shared model, which will actually have this connection to the Mapbox navigation and this mocked pop-up system. So to be honest, it's going to be just some timer. At some timer, we will get the request so we can actually act with that. And the UI will be represented with a couple of Swift UI views. We will not focus on them, but still just to show what do we have in this Mapbox navigation data streams, just to apply that on the UI. All right, to the Xcode. And I already have the predefined, pre-created Xcode project, which actually has single package as a dependency as Mapbox navigation. And our application has a single dependency, our Mapbox navigation core. I've already completed the installation instructions for the SDK registry token and for the Mapbox access token for the API calls. Also, for convenience, I've just added accent color. So get it started. Let's wait just to make sure that it compiles. All right, it's here. Okay, first thing first, let's create the model. And it's going to be a Swift UI, Mapbox navigation core, and let's create something like model create. That's our observable object where we do define our 4 states, which actually corresponds to our 4 states of our application. Okay, we just need to import something else just to make sure it compiles. Location is something like core location. Okay, that's the first thing. Yeah, here just wanted to emphasize that request details actually contains the pickup coordinates and destination coordinates. We need to have some waypoints, actually coordinates, to initiate the navigation. Let's basically create model waypoints. Yeah, that's something like I've hard-coded the origin, pickup, and destination for the development purpose while we are debugging, and so on. The next thing, what we need to do, we need to publish something. That's basically our state of the application. The root progress. The root progress is the part of the Mapbox Navigation Core. Location and the visual instructions. Visual instructions is also something that is provided for the Mapbox Navigation Core. We will talk about the root progress a bit more later on. Just want us to have something on the screen. So let's basically proceed with that. Yeah, one more thing that we need. We need to initialize our Mapbox navigation, and let's basically do that. To do that, we need to use the Mapbox navigation provider with the configuration. We will use absolutely default configuration with one exception. We will simulate location, and our original location will be the origin. Okay, I think for now, let's leave model in this state. The next thing, just want us to have something to be shown on the screen. Let's work with the map view. Swift UI, navigation core, and yeah, we're gonna use the navigation map view, which is part of the Mapbox navigation core, which is actually the UI kit component. So we are using UI view representable to actually place that to the UI Swift UI stack. One thing that's okay, then let's quickly just okay, now you can see when we do create the navigation map view, we need this location as well as the root progress because the actually navigation map view inside knows how to do a lot of navigation related activities, how to actually draw the route, how to process the route progress updates, and so on. Okay, now let's quickly, it compiles. Then let's quickly create main view, Swift UI, and here we do use our map, and let's quickly take a look how it will act like. All right, we already have the map, which is actually Swift UI kit component, which we wrap to the Swift UI entity and placed in our body. Okay, that's good. Let's proceed. You can see we don't have location here. Actually, we have nothing. Let's get back to the model. Here we have route progress and location. Let's actually configure these published properties. Yep, I will do it. Please take a look the way we are doing that. We are referencing to the Mapbox navigation service, and we are taking location matching property and taking the enhanced location and assign that to our published property. And basically the same we do for the route progress. One interesting part about the location matching. Mapbox under the hood actually does not use the raw location. It takes the raw location and then snap that to the road network because our raw location is constantly jittering. So it sort of normalized this data to be used by the map to it's used by the map to position the driver. One more thing we need to do, yeah, and it's basically, but and I will comment some parts for now, with one exception. Just let's quickly take a look. All right, cancelable notice. Yeah, we need to to do something like this, combine, and let's do like this. Okay, now a couple of warnings because we have common subcode. What I'm currently doing. So to ensure that the Mapbox will start emitting the location updates, I need to transition our trip session. So that's the trips, that's another entity from the Mapbox navigation stack to the pre-drive mode. And let's take a look how our application, how map view will behave on such change. And one more thing, what I want to emphasize, almost everywhere I'm doing something in my app based on the state. So here we do have loading, ready, waiting state. Waiting is just once again, repeat that it's the initial state of our application. Okay, let's quickly take a look how our main view will change. Okay, it's a bit better. Now we do have the map view, which is already has the location, enhanced location, and our navigation map view actually reacting to this location update and updates its state. Okay, the next thing. Let's proceed. The next thing what I will need to do, yeah, we need to have some request. So later on, we will need to load the route for that. Yeah, and let's basically do that. Model init orders. And our init orders is this hard-coded subscription for single order. So when we're in the waiting state, after 5 seconds, only for the first time, we will just transition our state right to the loading state. And our loading state is this one. And here we have the pickup and destination and some description. That's okay. And then after that, when I'm in the loading state, I need to load the route. Yeah, that's load the route, and I have another snippet for that. I'm taking the request details, and the crucial part here is the pickup and destination coordinates. And I'm requesting from the routing provider, that's another entity from the Mapbox navigation state, with the following options. My current location, which I'm actually taking here, pickup coordinates and destination coordinates. I also have the artificial delay here for 2 seconds to show how the state will change. And then when I have the route, I'm transition the application to have everything for navigation. Just we need to click navigate. Okay, that's basically it for now, but that's just a second. What we need, let's leave model and map and switch to the next thing. We need the panel so we can actually see the updates that something actually changes. Demo panel you create, that's okay. Okay. That's simple panel view. And that's the panel Swift UI view, ordinary VStack with nothing super interesting, just it's going to be this, how to say, uh, it's going to be presented as the sheet on top. Let's add that to our main view. Just a second, let's quickly take a look how it will act. Okay, we see the panel, we see the button, but currently it's not fulfilled with the data of our application. Let's fix that. Action title, and one more thing I need to do. Loading. All right, and here I will, instead of hard-coded, I will use model state action title. And one more thing, that if model is loading, then I will use the progress view for now, but I will not use it for now. What I did here, I was just based on application state, I just want to use different title for the action. And also just want to show some Swift UI elements based on some state. Let's quickly take a look at how it will take effect. Let's wait. In 5 seconds, we should get the order. Yeah, we can see we have some loading. And then when we actually loaded and loaded the root, we're in the accept state. Now, nothing will happen when we will click this panel. I will do something because we don't have any actions here. To have some action, we need to actually have this action on the model state. Let's go here. Model next state, and what it means basically. So whenever the button is pressed, I will just transition the state to the next state. And in my particular case, for the waiting and loading, nothing should happen. But when we have everything for the navigation, we should transition to the navigation state. And when we're navigating, we should complete the navigation and go to the waiting state. To have it a little bit more interesting for the next preview, let's slightly update the map view, because now we're just creating that, but we do not react on the application state updates, but we need to do something. For that, let's do the following. Demo map. We will create subclass for the map view. Yep, we just need to combine. Also core location. Okay. And what we need to do then, we need to actually instantiate that map view. And please take a look here, I'm passing already the state as well, the state of the application. Yep, and it's going to be something like this. Just let me quickly, yeah, it's succeeded. And one more thing, I want to subscribe for the state updates and actually do something on the map. And what it means. So here I have observable with the state. And when I have a routes, I'm asking the navigation map view to draw these routes. In waiting state, I want to remove the routes and transition to the camera to the overview mode. Yeah, this navigation map view has a lot of functionality. Also, it has custom camera management and so on. I'm just currently using the predefined one. And also it has this navigation. So when we transition the camera to the following the route state. Let's quickly try to see what will happen currently. So we know, and we can transition, waiting for the route for 5 seconds, loading the route with extra. And please take a look. Now we already have some route loaded with the waypoints that we've specified. I think we can even click accept at the moment. Yeah, it's not working. And let's take a look why. In our model, we need to do one more thing. To transform, to move Mapbox navigation state to the Mapbox navigation engine to the active guidance, we need to explicitly start active guidance on the trip session and pass the route that we got from the routing engine. Let's quickly take a look how our behavior will change. Waiting for order. Next time I will reduce the. Okay, just a second. Nothing. I will need to double check. Mhm. Let's quickly once again. No, just a second, please. Just quickly take a look here. Waiting for order. Loading. Accept. Okay, for some reason. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we just need actually to transit to the next section. Sorry for this minor delay. Let's quickly take a look one more time. Okay, and now we have something actually already that looks like the application where we have really simple but navigation. Oops, something wrong with the map. Let's fix that quickly. Yeah, we can see that the route we hide the park while navigation. The map padding. We need to set certain paddings to make sure that the camera will take this padding into account. Let's quickly take a look. Yeah, just a second. I will, to speed up a bit, I will remove this delay, and one more thing, I will reduce that by 1. And let's. Okay, almost instantly. Accept. And let's take a look the way how the behavior. Let's take a look on the behavior changes. Yeah, we can see now park is on the screen. One more minor addition, let's do it. Let's adjust the root color to match our accent color. So yeah, this navigation map view has a lot of configuration here. Just one more time. Okay, we can see that now it actually matches our accent color of the app. Okay, now we have really simple, but the application with certain basic navigation which we have. By the way, yeah, just most probably I forgot to mention that yeah, I'm using this simulation of the coordinate of my coordinates, and also it takes into account when we do actually start active guidance, because now the Mapbox navigation system itself simulates the route progress sort of while in the active state, simulates the route progress according the route we have. Okay, let's quickly click ready. Just to, yeah, we are going to the overview mode. Let's add some additional information to our app. The first thing is something about the details of what about the state where we are. Now the Swift UI view. I think demo details create. And that's something, another Swift UI view with the progress and text, not more than that. And yeah, based on our model state, it's a bit long, but actually straightforward. We're going to compose the state of the view based on our application state and the navigation state. And just let's quickly do something like this. Then, okay, model leg progress, and if model is, yeah, just a second, I think it's should be, yeah, progress visible. The main point, we just configure the view, how it should look like based on our application state. Let's quickly go through the model. We are using some date formatter to format some data. The main point, primary text, is actually a representation of our current application state. Either we're waiting, or we're moving, or we're loading the route. And in navigation state, depending on the route progress, we're actually showing are we moving to destination or to the pickup. Yeah, here also, just based on the state, either we show something, either not. Interesting part, lag progress. So once again, we're referring to this root progress where that's really, really interesting object, yeah, which we will cover later on, where we can pick a lot of information to represent the current navigation state. In our particular case, we just take in the current leg progress, fraction traveled, and we will represent that in the progress view. Let's quickly take a look how it will look like in the end. But first of all, let's add that to the panel. Just once again, and clicking to the main view. All right, now we see, yeah, because we already have 1 second for the order, we almost instantly went to the pickup. Let's accept, and please take a look the way it acts. So we are showing the fraction traveled for the current leg. So we don't see, so now it represents how much relatively is left till the end of the current leg. Also, it's currently showing the pickup information. Let's quickly take a look while the application will reach the pickup and go into the drop-off to the destination. Yeah, sorry, unfortunately it's not configurable at the moment, the speed of the simulation. Good call to action. Yeah, please take a look. Now we have the destination here, and this leg progress is actually already representing another state. And now we can go to the ready. So, and waiting for the next order. That's not everything. We also forget one more thing. According our original plan is actually instructions. Instructions. How do we apply the instructions? Let's create another Swift UI view. Okay, quickly take a look how it will look like. Once again, entirely Swift UI vstack with some modifiers. Yeah, that's our instruction banner Let's create model for this instruction. Yeah, that's what we have. Let me quickly just comment here and use something we need. Let's quickly take a look. So what we're gonna use? We're gonna use now, do you recall this visual instruction banner that we've created quite some time ago? It's actually something that we are getting also from the navigation system. Model init instructions. Our navigation, when it's active navigation state, it emits the banner instructions. And we're interested in the visual instructions. So, and to be published, we are passing it here. And here we're using the visual instruction and taking the primary instruction. But if we take a look on this entity, we can see there are a lot of data here, which can be used for the maneuvers representation. Let's quickly take a look. Okay, yeah, that's right. Another thing, once again, root progress, current leg progress, current step progress. Current step is something like the step is, we can think about that as the maneuver or distance until maneuver that the driver need to perform to actually reach the destination. And once again, we take that from the root progress. Let's add our instruction to the main view. Just quickly, let's take a look. Yeah, actually it's visible at the moment. Let's accept just to make sure we do have something. And yeah, now because we do observe the visual instruction, yeah, currently it's showing some maneuver, and then it's actually claiming that, yeah, destination on the right. We can see that we do have this visual instruction, which is sort of entirely, we take the Mapbox provided visual instruction and show that in the way we want that to be shown in our Swift UI comfortable context on the UI. One more thing, yeah, most probably these instructions should not be visible when we are not in the navigation state. So let's fix that. I think it's something like this. And click ready. And that's actually disappears. All right. The final thing to actually test that it's all right. So let's take a look how it will actually simulate. Yeah, we instantiate our model, passing to the main view, and that's basically it. Just let's remove, I think, one more thing. Another thing we'll do, we will increase this at least for the 3 seconds, and let's remove this 1 to 1 to have all our application states to be visible during the navigation. Okay. 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 And we start the navigation. Let's at least wait for at least one maneuver. Yeah, and we will click ready a bit earlier. To be honest, that's our entire application that we wanted to show, but let's quickly do a small recap of everything that we've done related to the Mapbox navigation. First of all, we've instantiated Mapbox navigation provider and instantiated the Mapbox navigation state. We've subscribed to the location enhanced location from the navigation service. We've subscribed for the route progress from the navigation service. Also, we've subscribed for the banner instruction for the navigation service. Then, at the moment when we need to request the route, we use the routing provider to calculate the route and passing the waypoints to the uh, to the backend, to the direction service. When we have the route, what we are doing, we actually start active guidance through the trip session navigation. That's sort of model part of the thing. And that's basically it. What we did from the map view perspective, just to interact with the map. We know that this navigation map view knows how to do a lot of things. And here, at certain states, we show the route or hide the route. Also transition the camera from the overview to following. And if I'm not mistaken, that's basically it. In the rest of the things, we just take this state, not here, but let's, for instance, take details. In the rest of the application, we compose the UI state based on my application state and the route progress, which also is part of our model. And let's once again let's go to the route progress. Route progress is really interesting entity. It's emitted on every location update. So by default, I think it's every second we will get the correct state of our navigation with this route progress. And it will keep a lot of information about this fraction traveled, remaining time, remaining distance, is final leg, or something like that. Yeah, I think for now, that's everything that is related to the coding session. And sorry, folks, yeah, maybe, I'm sorry if I've missed something. One more, just final note. To be honest, yeah, that's just the beginning. A lot of items are not covered, like for instance, camera management or alternative route selection or rerouting and so on. So, and in general, if this kind of approach will be interested, we'll be happy to extend this or another example with another coding uh, patterns. Yeah, thank you. That's it. Chris, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Artem. That was a wonderful demo. A lot of moving parts, a lot of things coming together there. I have a couple questions. So the map that we're showing, this is using the Mapbox Maps SDK. I don't think you got into a whole lot of customization, but if we want to, do we have all the same full control over that map as we would if we were just building with the Maps SDK?
Yeah. Inside of this wrapper, SwiftUI wrapper, we can have as many initial configuration as we want. And do we call this subscription? On this subscription, most probably your application state will be a lot more complex. So all these details about this complexity can be applied at runtime by observing to the Mapbox navigation view. And yeah, everything which is available through the public interface. So it's absolutely correct.
Excellent. And I noticed, so I think you had to use a UI view controller representable because the Mapbox navigation, or sorry, the navigation map view is not natively compatible with SwiftUI. Are there plans to make the Nav SDK more compatible with SwiftUI, or is this the current state of how we have to build?
Uh, yeah, at the moment, that's the current state, what we constantly have. So that's the hot discussions, and we definitely have a plans to apply more Swift UI compatible in components. At the moment, it's not released. So that's why we're using current approach. Sort of that's the current way how you can apply your customization. And uh, yeah, that's the answer. Yeah, sorry.
All right, and for those who are attending, now's your chance. If there are any other questions you might want to ask Artem, I'll give you another question. Are there any other? What are the most exciting, upcoming features or new developments in the Nav SDK for iOS that you're excited about?
All right. Yeah, that's one thing which is currently active development, but yeah, you probably noticed that we are using the Mapbox maps under the hood. So we are tightly collaborating on some activities and initiatives. At the moment, uh, Maps folks are actually building certain building highlights feature. So we can highlight the exact building for the destination. And as soon as it will be ready, these APIs that from the Mapbox Maps side, we will apply that on our end to actually highlight the building if we know the building during the navigation. That's one example. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's yeah, sorry, that's I think was one of the most excited one that came to my mind. Yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. I personally remember the struggle of trying to highlight a building, so I'm really glad that that's becoming a sort of out of the box feature of Mapbox Maps, and I think it's going to make navigation that much nicer. Um, okay, so the question that was just posted in the chat is kind of the same one I asked, so I'm going to ask it again. Are there any upcoming features or improvements that Mapbox Navigation SDK team is focusing on in the development roadmap? So kind of the same question, but maybe you have a different answer.
Yeah, that's basically yeah, to be honest, I might miss something just because a lot of stuff is going on in parallel, and I'm afraid that I might not have the accurate answer at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry.
All right. Well, stay tuned. Check out those change logs. We also do webinars every now and then for navigation. So yeah, definitely a lot of different places where you can stay tuned to that signal. I think that'll wrap us up. So I want to say thank you to Artem for this amazing hands-on demonstration. And thank you to everyone who joined this session. Hope you have an enjoyable time with the rest of your week here at Build with Mapbox. And thank you for participating. We'll see you later.
And thank you, folks.